Thank you very much, and we want to welcome once again our great Governor Andrew Cuomo here to Suffolk County, where he is once again fighting for working families. I want to thank you. I want to acknowledge my colleagues who are here today, thank them for being here and for their work to support the governor's initiative. Our Assemblyman and Deputy Majority Leader in the State Assembly will be speaking in just a few moments, Phil Ramos. My colleagues in Suffolk County, our great presiding officer, Dwayne Gregory, Legislator Kate Browning, Legislator Rob Clark, our Minority Leader, our Deputy Presiding Officer, Minority Leader Kara Hahn, Legislator Monica Martinez, and Legislator William Doc Spencer. Let's hear it for them. We also have from the town of Huntington, Councilwoman Susan Berlin. From the town of Brookhaven, Councilwoman Valerie Cartwright. From the town of North Hempstead, Councilwoman Anna Kaplan, and Hempstead Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby. Let's hear it for them as well. The former supervisor of North Hempstead, John Kamen, is here as well. I want to thank him for being here. And thank you to all of our friends in labor, particularly our hosts here today, Local 25 IBEW. Let's hear it for Kevin Harvey, the business manager, Ellen Redmond, the international representative for IBEW Local 25. We want to thank Wayne Spence, the president of PEF, being here. Nora Higgins, regional coordinator and PAC chair for PEF. Gemma DeLeon, president, RWDSU Local 1102. Bruce Both, President, UFCW Local 1500. Tom Giswaldi, President, Teamsters Local 282. Pat Dolan, President of the Steam Fitters Local 638. Nick Lamort, President of Long Island CSEA. Dennis Connor, Secretary-Treasurer, New York Allied Printing Trades Council. Mike Laspina, President of Teamsters Local 406. Don Dunn, President, CWA Local 1108. Walter Barton, President, NALC Branch 6000. Kevin Peterman, President of the Faculty Association of Suffolk Community College, the largest community college and best community college system in New York. With all respect, Governor. Ryan Stanton, Political Director of the Long Island Federation of Labor, and we want to keep in our thoughts and prayers Roger Durso, who continues to recover. Michelle Lynch, the Long Island Political Director, 1199 SEIU. And Pete Zarcone, the Political Director of Labor, is Local 66. And we also want to welcome the Chairman of the Suffolk County Democratic Committee and Supervisor of the Town of Babylon, Rich Schaefer. Okay, thank you very much for being here. This is a great day, an important day for us. I'm thrilled to be here with each and every one of you to join with Governor Andrew Cuomo in his fight for paid family leave in the state of New York. Now, it doesn't matter if you're in Suffolk County, the Southern Tier, New York City, upstate, downstate. I think what defines all of us as New Yorkers is our strong sense of family. The problem is that today, millions of hardworking men and women across this state are forced to choose between putting food on the table and bonding with a newborn, or supporting loved ones in their time of need. Forcing this decision on New Yorkers flies in the face of common sense. And that's why what the governor is trying to accomplish here is so important. And it's why an overwhelming majority of New Yorkers are supporting him and his efforts. Democrats, Republicans, independents alike. Just on Long Island, the governor's proposal has garnered the support of more than 90% of working families. Now that says something, given that in this day and age, and certainly what we see at the national level today, that it is almost impossible to garner that kind of overwhelming consensus on any issue. So why are so many New Yorkers supporting the governor's efforts on paid family leave? It's pretty simple. Because it is the right thing to do. It builds stronger families at home. And because the plan does not cost employers a dime, it also helps to create stronger, more healthier workplaces as well. Now, just because nearly everyone in the state understands the importance of this plan, that doesn't mean we don't have work to do. I know this may be hard to believe, but there are still people out there who are choosing to ignore the facts. And that's why it is all up to us here in this room and everyone out there as well to make our voices heard and to keep up the fight and not stop fighting to support Governor Cuomo and this effort until every part of this state, every New Yorker has access to paid family leave. We want to make sure, and we will not stop until paid family leave is the law of the land in the state of New York, and that's why we're here supporting Governor Cuomo and this effort. And now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage my good friend and somebody I can tell you personally I know has been fighting for working his entire life. That is our Deputy Majority Leader, our Assemblyman Phil Ramos.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for our County Executive Steve Bellone. You know, he's been in office several years now, and I always say, what a difference another Steve makes. Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much for coming down on this issue that's so important, coming down to our community. And Labor, I know it's early. You sound a little weak. Is Labor here? Thank you, the champions of our middle class. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support on this issue. AARP, you here? I know you're here. Thank you as well. Thank you as well for supporting those who have spent a lifetime contributing to our economy and to our society. You know, in the past few years here on Long Island, we've been fortunate enough to start to recover from this great recession. And the truth is our economy is doing a lot better. Gas under $2 a gallon is not too bad either. We're doing good. We're on our road to recovery. And I am proud of the work that my colleagues and I have done in the Assembly that contributed to that success. But it's been a team effort. And as our economy continues to grow and thrive, it's incumbent on us to ensure a fair distribution of that success of our economy. You know, it's sad that in this day and age, we see the politics and the ideology of division at every corner, at everything we try and do with this country. You have people trying to use that to divide us, you know? I call it boogeyman politics. At any particular time, there's a boogeyman you got to be scared of. People will have to get elected based on creating fear. Oh, it's the immigrant community. They're going to take something away from you. No, it's the unions. The unions are taking everything away from you. Oh, it's the middle class. They're taking away from the rich. Fear them. Beware of them. Oh, no, the Muslims are coming. The Muslims are coming. We must fear them. Vote for me. That's what we hear every other day. My friends, there is an African proverb that says that if you want to go fast, when you want to get somewhere and you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. We as a country must use that ideology of going together, not dividing us. We don't take away from each other. The wealthy do better when the middle class and the poor are spending money and have more disposable income and have continuity of employment. And that is what paid family leave does. Now today, those who are against this want the boogeyman to be new mothers. They're the ones we have to be aware of. They're the ones who are hurting businesses. That's a ridiculous argument and a ridiculous use of this ideology of division, used in the hands of those who believe in socialism for the rich and free market for the poor and middle class. That means that with restoring our economy, we must restore economic justice to all New Yorkers. It means ensuring decency in the workplace and fairness at homes. And it means that a single mother of two should be able to afford and feed her family and pay her rent while taking care of her newborn baby and working full time. And while there is a temporary obligation at home, that obligation should not destroy the finances of a family. And it serves society to keep somebody working, even if temporarily they have some responsibilities. It serves society. Why take them out of the loop, take them out of employment, where they're not paying taxes, they're not contributing to the economy? It is a tide that rises all ships. This fixes a small defect that will help to stimulate the economy. New Yorkers deserve more, and we can and we must do more. In the coming weeks, I will continue to work with my colleagues and continue our record of coming together. And we promise, Governor, we promise to stand beside you as we fight to achieve this progress for all. Please join us all in that fight. And I ask you now to give a warm welcome to our friend in the fight for economic justice, the New York State now President, Sonia Osorio. Sí se puede.
Thanks for the stool. Thank you, Assemblyman Ramos. Thank you, County Executive Bellon. It's a pleasure to be here in Suffolk County. As has been said so clearly, nobody should ever have to choose between a paycheck and being at the bedside of a sick parent, bonding and caring for a newborn. No New Yorker should live in fear that they won't be able to pay their rent if they need to take care of a loved one. And that's why Governor Cuomo has brought us together here today to make paid family leave a reality in New York and beyond. Did you know only 12% of workers across this country have access to paid family leave? The rest of us scramble. And for so many, particularly women and minorities, that means they're a paycheck away from losing their home, not able to feed their family, and having to make gut-wrenching decisions about who is going to take care of their newborn if they can't do it. 83% of women and minorities have no savings to fall back on. That means no financial cushion. That means no job security when a newborn is brought home. Working for the National Organization for Women, I'm one of the lucky ones. When my daughter was born, I had 12 weeks paid leave. I had the privilege of being sleep-deprived, hungry, unkept, but at home with my child. It gave me the time to learn to be a mother. And I can't imagine what it's like to hand off your tiny, helpless infant in a matter of weeks or days. But I know it happens. It happens a lot. At Now, we have an employment discrimination clinic, and we hear the stories, the desperate stories from women who call us for help, trying to figure out how to make it. A lot of them try to get really creative. You know, they dare to cobble together their personal days and their sick days and their vacation days so they can spend time with their newborns. And a lot of times that comes at a cost. They don't have the same positions when they get back. They lose their jobs. For far too long, working mothers have been forced to make these really difficult choices of taking care of their babies and themselves or losing their jobs. This is wrong, and it must change. And that's why being here today is so exciting. It's wrong, and we must change it. And these are words that I associate with Governor Cuomo. He's a man who lives by those words. He did it with marriage equality. He did it with women's equality. and he's going to do it with paid family leave. Yes. So thank you all, and please join me in welcoming our Governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's have a big, warm round of applause for Sonia Osorio, the president of NOW. We thank you very much for being here. We thank you for your support. NOW is a great organization, all statewide, and with them behind us on paid family leave, we took a giant step forward. So thank you very much, Sonia Osorio, again. To our great county executive, Steve Ballone, he did the longest list of acknowledgments in the shortest period of time. Give him a round of applause. He is also, I obviously work with local elected officials all across this state, and I've been in all sorts of situations with your county executive. I've been through storms, hurricanes, rain, you name it, tough budgets, tough legislative issues. He is an example of being in this business for all the right reasons, and he's an example of a person who actually makes government work and gets things done. It's a pleasure to be with him. Give him another round of applause. Rich Schaefer, same thing, Town of Babylon supervisor who's doing a great job. Pleasure to be with you, Rich Schaefer. Let's give him a round of applause. And Phil Ramos, who brings the fire and the passion to these issues, and he's just a great advocate statewide. Pleasure to be with you, Assemblyman. You know, I spent a little bit of time at home this weekend, which is always nice. Put on the TV, and it's like 24-hour a day on this presidential election. Isn't it amazing? Every channel. We just finished one debate, 20 minutes to the next debate, and then 2 days, then a little countdown clock. One thing yelling at another, the guys calling each other names. Your mother this, your mother that. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. And all the analysts come on, all the talking heads. Well, the electorate is angry, and they're trying to connect with the angry electorate. Yeah, I understand that. The electorate is angry, and they're trying to connect with the angry electorate. First of all, I understand why people are angry. People are angry because the Assemblyman is right. The economy is doing great. On one hand, it's doing great. We have in this state, we work very hard at bringing jobs to this state. I made it the #1 priority. We now have more private sector jobs than have ever existed before in the history of the state of New York, 7.8 million jobs. So that's great, right? What could be bad? You have more jobs than ever before, so everything must be great. No, everything is not great. Because the jobs that we are creating in this new economy, not just New York, but all across the country, they are different jobs than the jobs we had 20 years ago. They don't pay as well. They don't have the same benefit package. Fewer people have pensions now in our society. Fewer people have job security. Fewer people have unions that equalize the playing field and got workers a better deal. And it's not that people just feel angry like they're irrational. There's reasons that they are angry. I don't even know that anger is the right word. I think anger comes second. Fear comes first. Anxiety comes first. And they're anxious and they're fearful. And they should be. Middle class in this country is going backwards, not forwards. Earning potential for the middle class is going backwards. There was a time when CEOs made about 20 times what a worker makes. Now they make thousands of times what a worker makes. There was a time when productivity was linked to an increase in the worker's pay. The more productivity went up, the more workers got paid. Now, productivity over the past few years went up 75%, pay went up 9%. So the middle class are being left behind. And a salary is not what it used to be. $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Boy, that was a great salary. You're doing great if you make that. Yeah, but not when property taxes are going up the way they're going, cost of living is going up the way it's going. Try to pay a college tuition bill. Try. I don't know who can afford a college tuition bill. Try to get a loan at an interest rate that's going to saddle your kids for decades to pay off student loans. This is not the way it was supposed to be, so we're anxious. We're afraid, and that comes out as anger. Assemblyman's point is also profound. Now you have an angry electorate. What do you do with it? Well, if you want to play politics, you can take that anger and you can channel it and get people angry at something that serves you politically. Easiest thing is channel the anger to people who are different. They're different. Why? Because different always raises suspicions, right? You meet someone who's different, you get a little suspicious. So you channel the fear, you make an enemy. The enemy is the people who are different, people who have different religions than you and believe different things. They're the problem. People with a different skin color, they're the problem. People who come from a different country, they're the problem. People who believe in a different sexual orientation than you, they're the problem. Let's just get rid of them and everything's going to be fine. That's what their campaign comes down to. Let's be honest. We'll make a list. We'll write down all the people who are different, all the immigrants. The immigrants just became the icon for difference. Write down a list of all the immigrants. We'll go down that list. We'll kick them all out. And then we build a big wall so they can't come back. A big wall. I mean a big wall. I mean a big wall, a high wall, a fancy wall, a huge wall. I'm not talking a little wall. I'm talking a wall like China built a wall. Remember the China wall? Well, a wall like that. It's going to be a big wall, no door in the wall. You can't even come through the wall if you wanted to. A little door, maybe, like a crawl space door. You have to crawl one at a time. And that's the answer. That is the answer. It sounds funny, but that's the presidential dialogue, right? We're scared. We're angry. Here's the target. It's the people who are different. Kick them out, and everything will be okay. First of all, that's not who we are. You want to demonize differences. You want to demonize differences. Take a look at the Constitution of the United States. Take a look at the Founding Fathers. Take a look at a mirror. Kick out the immigrants. Who's not an immigrant? What are you, a Native American? And if you're not a Native American, you're an immigrant. So it's antithetical to who we are. And it is also no way towards progress. It's a way to actually stymie progress. And it is a great distraction to the real problems. What we're trying to do in our way here in New York is address the real problem. What is the real problem? The middle class is being left behind, and the middle class is not being treated with respect, and they feel it, and they sense it, and no one is addressing it. So the answer is let's address it, because they are right. They are being left behind. And we have two measures in this year's legislative session that does just that. The first one is raise the minimum wage, because you can't live on $9 an hour. Raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour so people can have a decent living. FDR signed the minimum wage law. When he signed the minimum wage law, he said it should be a wage that allows a decent living. Not that you scrape by and you have to borrow a decent living. Why? Because FDR was saying all work had dignity and all work had respect. And I don't care what you do. If you're working, you're making your contribution, I respect it. Whatever you do, whatever your trade, whatever your contribution. And if you work full-time, you should be above poverty. $9 an hour doesn't do that. $18,000 a year, you can't live in the state of New York. You can't pay for food and housing and expenses for your children. So raise the minimum wage. That's number one. And number two is what we're talking about today, paid family leave. Why? Because in this new employee-employer relationship, it's not just about the salary. It's about the respect that the worker gets. It's about the respect that the employee gets. Generation ago, different relationship with an employer where the employee was more valued. An employee could go to their boss and say, look, I have a situation at home. I need a few weeks off. And out of respect for our relationship, would you do that for me? The chances are the employer would say, yeah. You've been with me a long time. I value you. I respect the relationship. Take a few weeks off. Not in this economy. This economy, too many employees are treated like a commodity. You leave, I'll get another one just like you. There are plenty of people just like you, right? Because this is an economy where the people at the top, financial skills, financial analysts, access to finance, they're valuable. Everybody else is just a widget, just a commodity. So chances are you go to an employer now and you say, look, I need a few weeks off. They say, take a few weeks off. Take a few more weeks off. As a matter of fact, don't even bother coming back because I'm going to replace you. Now, work is important and productivity is important, but the county executive is exactly right. That's not life. Life is not work. Life is family. Life is relationships. Life is love. Life is nurturing. That's life. That's where we live. And you should be able to live a decent life. And work should not mean you miss the precious moments at home. You miss the precious moments with a loved one. What's a more precious moment than when you have a child? I mean, think back. What are the really beautiful times in life where you want to be there? Making a baby, my God, that's my baby. We did that. Being there for that. And then a mother having the right to be there with her child, to bond with her child, to nurture her child. Not to have to run back to work. But as Sonia said, to spend that time getting the child a healthy start and making that connection. And not just the mother. The father, too, has a right to be there and spend that time together. Now, we have a federal law called the Family Leave Act. Employer must give the employee 12 weeks of leave time. So, Sonia, any woman, you can take off 12 weeks and they can't fire you. There's one but. You know what the but is? But they don't pay you. So they say, good, take off 12 weeks. God bless you. I can't fire you. Your job will be here. But who's in a position in this economy to take off 12 weeks with no pay? Who can do that? No paycheck, all those expenses for 12 weeks. I hate to be cynical. I think that's why Washington passed the law, because they knew nobody could do it in the first place. So it wasn't going to cost them anything. We say paid family leave, 12 weeks, an employee-funded plan that pays an employee a portion of their salary for 12 weeks, so you can actually take that leave time and still pay your bills and still pay for your family. And it's not just childbirth, not just the shining moments in life. It's also at the other end of the spectrum, right? Probably the two most powerful moments are birth and death. Someone's entering, somebody's leaving. I went through it last year with my father. You have a loved one who gets sick, loved one who's dying, and you know it's coming. You want to be there. You should be there. My father was sick. Doctor said it's just a matter of time now. It's a matter of weeks. They sent him home, and I would go to visit him. And we would do what we do. Wasn't a lot left to talk about because we had talked about everything all our lives, but we had the important conversations. And then he loved to do his running commentary of what I had done that day and what he read in the newspapers and what I should have done instead of what I did do. And the mistake I made yesterday and the mistake I made the week before, and didn't I pay attention and didn't I listen? And maybe I was adopted and my mother never told him. But it's being there. It's just being there. It's being there to hold a hand. It's being there to smile. It's being there just because it's the right thing. It's to be there. I had the option of being there, but I tell you the God's honest truth, I wasn't there enough. I kicked myself every day. There was always something important. You have to be here. You have to be there. You can't miss this. You can't miss that. All baloney. I don't even remember what it was that was so important now. But I made a mistake. I should have been there. Family leave allows you to be there. And that's where you should be. That is more important than work. You can be a caregiver or just a hand holder, but you should be there. Paid family leave exists in almost every country around the globe. Just Suriname and Papua New Guinea don't have paid family leave. We call ourselves a sophisticated country. United States of America, we're sophisticated. Yeah, except when we're not. Now, the Assemblyman was also right that this should be a slam dunk, right? Raising the minimum wage, everybody knows $9 doesn't work. Paid family leave, unless you're in Papua and Suriname, should be a no-brainer, right? Well, it should be a no-brainer, but it's not. The corporations that have to pay a higher minimum wage don't want to pay it. Why? Because they don't want to pay it. Because they'd rather the money be in their pocket than in the pocket of the workers. And if they don't have to pay it, they're not going to pay it. Big corporations are very powerful in our political system. Why? Because big corporations are big money. Big money goes into the political system, and that gets them a lot of attention. So the minimum wage is a problem. I'm telling you that. Paid family leave, why? Because the employers don't want the inconvenience of the employee leaving. That's why. And they'd rather the employee be there so they don't have to deal with the disruption. So they oppose the minimum wage. They oppose paid family leave. They oppose the two essential issues that do justice for the middle class, that could actually start to alleviate the anger and the fear and the frustration, that could actually start to equalize the playing field, that could actually make this economy work for everyone rather than just for the few. And that's the debate that's going on in Albany. That's the God's honest truth. We need you to get engaged. There's 3 weeks, and this decision is made. The legislators on Long Island are key to this discussion. If we win the legislators on Long Island, we win this statewide. We just need your representatives to support this proposal. We need Long Islanders to make their voice heard to their Assembly representative, to their Senate representative. We get them to support it. We'll make this a reality. We will accomplish something no state in the nation has. We will have the highest minimum wage in the United States of America, which is a tremendous big step towards economic justice and economic freedom. We will have the best paid family leave program in the United States of America also. And not only will we make life better for the people who we serve, because that's what government is all about at the end of the day. It's not about advocacy, it's not about speech making, it's about making a practical difference in people's lives. These two bills will do just that, and New York, once again, will show this nation the way forward, and that's what New York is all about. And New York will say, stop fighting, stop yelling, stop looking for a convenient enemy, stop looking for Assemblyman Ramos's boogeyman. There is no boogeyman. The boogeyman is people are being mistreated, and the economy is unequal, and people require fairness and justice because that's the American way. We restore fairness, you'll see this country take off. Thank you, and God bless you.
Let's hear it for our great Governor Andrew Cuomo. My friends, we have a governor who is fighting for working families. Are we going to stand with Governor Cuomo and fight with him for a $15 minimum wage? Are we going to fight for paid family leave in the state of New York? Well, that fight here on Long Island and here in Suffolk County begins today, and we need to win that fight. We need to stand with the governor and win this fight. Are we going to do it? Thank you to all of our friends in labor. Thank you for being out here today, and let's go out and win this fight. Thank you.